call mine Dido. This is the vulva, and this is the clitoris. This will be really important later.
This is my first memory, from when I was 3 years old. Standing about eye level with my nanny's vagina as she sat on the bed giving me an anatomy lesson. I grew up in a laboratory, not with test tubes and beakers. This was more a laboratory of consciousness. Before I was born, my parents realized how fucked up society was, and especially around sex and spirituality. And so they decided that they wanted to experiment with parenting in a radically new way. They hypothesized, what would happen if we fully encourage our children's natural curiosity in all areas of life, even around spirituality, sex, and drugs? I was born in Fairfield, Iowa, a small town centered around Maharishi University, where my parents were active members of the meditation community. When I was in my mom's belly, she took a course on levitation. Well, until her second trimester, when the doctor wouldn't let her fly anymore until I was born. At bedtime, when most kids were reading from Winnie the Pooh, my dad would read my brother and I from the Bhagavad Gita. In spirituality, we were expected to be like Christ. And in sexuality, we were taught about these tantric masters that could lift 150 pounds with their penis. At age 3, we moved to Vegas, where my mom became the main dancer at a popular strip club called the Crazy Horse. My dad would take my brother and I to hang out backstage while we'd wait for my mom to get off work. At 5, my brother and I were wrestling, and my head went through my parents' bedroom door, leaving this large hole. And the next morning, I heard grunting sounds, and so I looked through the hole and I see my mom on top of my dad. It looked like riding a horse. I think I remember her yelling, "Yeehaw!" That part could just be in my head. I spent many subsequent hours talking to my dad all about sex. The mechanics of it, the reasons for it, the feelings that often come up, and their need for variety.
James, your mother and I have decided to explore the boundaries of human relationship. So, we've decided to incorporate fuck buddies.
One such fuck buddy lived with us for over 1.5 years.
Uh-oh.
His name was Woody. I remember waking up one night to go to the bathroom, and I saw Woody coming out of my parents' bedroom, naked, with a Woody. Next morning I went to my dad and I asked, Daddy, why was there a naked Woody coming out of your room last night?
Well, you know how you like getting new toys, like a remote control car? Well, Woody's like a voice-controlled bedroom toy for your mother.
I heard he was hung like a bronco. Now, I didn't know what that meant at the time, but it sure seemed to make my mom happy. When I was 15, my dad decided,
James, it's time you get laid. I was talking to your brother, and it seems you have 3 choices. I'll take you to the red light district and hire you a hooker. Or you can have sex with your brother's girlfriend. Or you can have sex with my new lover.
he was always trying to pawn her off on people.
It's your choice, but you have to pick one.
Well, of the 3 options, My brother's girlfriend seemed like the most reasonable choice, since she wasn't overly priced or twice my age. So my father and brother waited in the living room while she took my sweaty hand and walked me in the bedroom. I laid on my back, and as soon as she started to go down on me, I got so hard, I could have chipped her tooth. After about 30 seconds, she lifted her head to smile at me, not realizing that, oh God, I was already there. Oh shit, I squirted her in the eye. Now, she was really graceful about the whole thing, reassuring me that it happens to everyone. But the worst part about the whole thing was having to do the walk of shame after only 45 seconds. I can laugh about this now. But imagine the discrepancy between that experience and the stories that I was told about these tantric masters that could last for hours and bring women to like 17 orgasms. You see, I was constantly comparing myself to these unrealistic standards and was left feeling like there must be something wrong with me. No one had ever told me that every tantric master had to start somewhere. Through my teen years, when most guys were pursuing sexual experiences, I had even turned women down out of fear of disappointing them. Growing up in a laboratory gave me permission to be different and to explore. But as with all experiments, there are some great successes and some Chernobyl-type explosions. For me, the fallout was feeling like I wasn't enough. The obvious answer to this was, become a workshop junkie. This involved dropping about 50 grand on seminars and even buying a school that taught therapy and personal growth. It took almost a decade of running that school before I finally got that, I already am good enough. Now, I find myself on a tantric path and have stopped comparing myself to others sexually or spiritually. And I've come to realize that it doesn't matter what my parents' ideals were or what society says. Now that I'm part of this community, I'm constantly surrounded by a bunch of people who are even stranger than I am. And I finally feel normal.